Most people are buying double the house for their banks. And that's why the banks are the richest institution in our society today. And I will show you today that you can save or grow your wealth by over $1 million while you're even still renting. Welcome to Cooking Finance. Today we want to talk about rent versus own. In North America, for example, we've been sold that the best thing you can do to your life is to get a house, get a mortgage. Now people pay mortgages for over 30 years. But I can tell you, not in every market is that a good deal. A lot of people are throwing away millions of dollars just by owning a house instead of renting in certain market. And I will show you today that you can save or grow your wealth by over $1 million while you're even still renting. Let's go. A typical house price in the Calgary market cost about $500,000. A 20% down payment on that is $100,000. Mortgage rates now average 5%. So on a $500,000 house, that's a $400,000 mortgage. You'll be paying $2,147 every month. In addition to that, there's property tax, which averages around $3,000 to $4,000 per annum. Let's use $3,500, which means you're paying $292 every month. There is insurance, home insurance, which is about $200 a month. And then you need to put money aside for maintenance. So let's even be very optimistic and say $100 for maintenance. So in a month, you are paying every month about $2,789. That's your cash outflow every month, in addition to the $100,000 you are paid as down payment. So let's assume nothing changes and keep it the same on average. So over 30 years, you're paying a total of $1,004,040. That's how much you out of pocket you paid. House prices. So people will tell me, oh, you're building equity. Absolutely. You're giving money to the bank, paying down the principal, but you're also paying out of pocket. Over a 30-year period, house prices will have risen. Average increase in house prices in the Calgary market, for example, over the last 10 years has been like 12%. But over the last 30 years, it's grown to like 475%, which means your house will now cost about $2.7 million. So that's the value of your house after 30 years of paying $1 million. You remember you paid $1 million for that house, for that $500,000 house. And the value of that house after 30 years is now $2.7 million. In essence, you've probably generated a value of $1.7 million over a 30-year period. Now let's look at the alternative. Let's assume you have that your $100,000, and instead of going to give it to a bank as a mortgage, you decide to rent. A $500,000 house, typical house, in today's market, you rent it for about $2,200 per month. Let's assume you pay content insurance, just insuring your own property. That's about $50. And you also do some internal little maintenance. of $50. So your total outlay every month is now $2,300. That's how much your total outlay every month is. Which means to now equate it with the other one, remember the outlay when you're buying your house is $2,789. Now you have an extra of $489 every month to invest. So what should you do? So now you have $100,000 capital plus $489 every month invested in an index S&P 500 ETF. Let's just use a typical ETF like SPY or VOO. That's a typical S&P 500 index. $100,000 to capital plus $489 per month. In 30 years, the market has averaged in the last 50 years, average 12% per annum. That's not even putting dividends in. 12% average over the last 50 years. You can check that out. If you work that out, the value of your investment after 30 years will be $4.48 million. $4.48 million. Whereas, on the other side, you remember, the value of your investment of your house is $2.7 million. So you've practically given to the bank $1.78 million of your wealth by deciding to own that house instead of renting. Those are the kind of big numbers that you could have used to grow your wealth. And I'm being very conservative here. If you look at owning a house, it involves way much more things you have to be doing. Things that the owner of the house, landscaping, roof change, we did not even factor all that in. And when you're going to sell that house, remember, the realtor will take their bit. So even your $2.7 million, the value of the house, you are not even getting that. You are paying 6% to the realtor out of that. So even that 1.78 becomes about $2 million that you are paying out on this. So there is so much you are putting on the table by not doing proper financial analysis before you go and buy that house. Most people are buying double the house for their banks. And that's why the banks are the richest institution in our society today. So what do you think about this video? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.